Well, hey there, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing pretty good on this Tuesday. Been a little busy the last couple days, so it's been a little bit since I've been on here. But I kind of wanted to look a little bit and show off the schedule for the Stanley Cup Final, which I mean we pretty much all know by now. But I just figured let's kind of take a look at this. And there's one big gripe that I have about all of these games. Now, this is also, I guess, the first time that a team has made the Stanley Cup Final, where both teams have made the Stanley Cup Final and had not had home ice advantage at any point in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is interesting because it had me wondering back in 1993. The conference final were all number 3 seeds, but you had to have a number 3 seed that had home ice advantage, which I believe that was Montreal over the New York Islanders in 93, so they did have home ice. Neither team has had home ice advantage in any of their series. They all have been on the road. Edmonton has home ice this year. Unlike last year where Florida had home ice, Edmonton has home ice this year. Now, will home ice really mean that much? I don't know. I mean, home ice really hasn't mattered to either team. So, home ice really might not make that big of a difference. And Florida is very, very comfortable with playing on the road. They are very comfortable with playing on the road. But let's take a look at some of these. Of course, tomorrow night is game 1, June 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the Panthers in Edmonton taking on the Oilers for game 1. Then, of course, on June 6th, also at 8 Eastern Time, it's game 2, Panthers at Oilers. Then game 3, the series switches to Sunrise on June 9th at 8 Eastern. And then game 4 is on June 12th at 8 Eastern. Now that's kind of interesting that you get an extra day in between games 3 and 4, even though you're in Florida already. So you get 1 on, 1 off here before games 1 and 2, but here you get 1 on and 2 off between games 3 and 4. Kind of interesting. And then game 5, if necessary, which I do think it's going to be necessary. This ain't going to be a sweep. They're back in Edmonton on June 14th, again at 8 Eastern. Then game 6, you go back to Sunrise on June 17th. So you get 2 extra days in between here, between games 5 and 6, which I can understand why. It's, you're going from Edmonton to Florida, so it's, you get 1 day for travel, and then, you get, I can fully understand that. And then you get the same thing going from between game 6 and game 7. Game 7, of course, is on June 17th, and then, or game 6 is on the 17th, and then game 7 is on June 20th. So you get an extra day there. So you get an extra day here in between games 3 and 4. You get an extra day here between games 5 and 6, and an extra day between games 6 and 7. So really the only time that you have 1 on, 1 off is between games 1 and 2 and games 4 and 5, which again is interesting. You only get 1 on, 1 off between games 4 and 5 because you're going from Florida to Edmonton. So, the scheduling is kind of odd. The scheduling is always a little weird. But I mean, if this goes all 7 games, this is going to be going on for literally literally like 2.5 weeks. So the Stanley Cup Final is literally going to be going on for like 2.5 weeks if it goes the distance. Now, of course, if it ends sooner, then it's not going to go all the way to the 20th. Now, of course, some people have said, I don't understand how they do the schedule and this, that, and the other. This ain't nothing new. The NBA's been doing schedules like this for years, where you could have. I think even the NBA has done it where they'd have one game and then they'd have like 3 days off in between. So it's not like it's anything out of the ordinary. It's kind of out of the ordinary for the NHL. This is something because it always used to be one on, one off, one on, one off all the time. I think 2020 kind of changed that. And so, yeah, they want to prolong this as long as possible. Again, I can kind of understand it. And some people will think June 20th is way too late, which is why I think a lot of people want to see the season start earlier, shorten the preseason, and start the year maybe even the last week in September. Start the season then, because then you might be playing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final like right in here, which would be June 12th, like right around June 12th. Or even like, June 9th. The first part of June. Instead of the third week in June, it'd be like the first week in June. Because back in the day, that's what the Stanley Cup was decided like end of May, first week in June. Now it's third week in June. Which again, I don't as a hockey fan, I don't mind. I don't mind it in the least. There's other people who do. The thing that gets me though is, and I know they did this under the CBA, but or the TV agreement, but boy, I wish they would have done a little better at this. All these games for like here in the States, they're TNT. Which not to discount TNT, but why not ESPN? Why is ESPN not have any of these games? I get that the pregame and postgame, that's all on ESPN. Why are the games not shown on ESPN? Why are they all on TNT? Why? ESPN is a national network. Why are these games not on ESPN? I don't get. TNT is all well and good, but these games need to be on ESPN, in my opinion, or at least alternate them. You want to do game 1 on TNT? Cool. Make game 2 on ESPN. Then TNT, ESPN, TNT, ESPN, whatever. But a lot of these games need to be on both on ESPN. ESPN has got to be in on this. In my humble opinion, ESPN needs to have these games on. You want to talk about ratings for the final? Not everybody gets TNT. Almost everybody gets ESPN. ESPN needs to have these games. You want to do pregame, postgame coverage on TNT? Perfect, cool. These games need to be on ESPN. Why they're not? I don't know. I don't understand it. That's one part I don't understand, is why ESPN does not have any of these games. And I know it's been that way the last couple of years, and I never really truly thought about that until I kind of really looked at it, and I'm like, wait, why? Like, why does ESPN not have any of these? I get they have pregame, they have like pregame and postgame and all that, but why they? Again, my humble opinion, these games need to be on ESPN, or at least part of this series needs to be on ESPN. Not all of them need to be on TNT. To me, there's no reason why ESPN cannot broadcast any of these games. Now, of course, I'm not sure what they have with the NBA. If the NBA has their finals games on ESPN, that maybe could be one reason why. Which honestly, let me look just for the heck of it here. Let me look and see here. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see here if they show. Yeah, no, they don't have any. ESPN doesn't have any of these games. All of the games for the 2025 NBA Finals are all on ABC. So there's no reason that ESPN cannot get in on these games, because the NBA Finals are all on ABC. I don't know. I don't understand why that necessarily is, but it is, and it's I don't know. It just to me it's a little. I mean, that might be like a little nitpick for some people that that these games aren't on ESPN. I just wish they were. ESPN is it's supposed to be the be all end all for sports, for sports television. None of these games are on there. I mean, I understand ESPN and TNT have a partnership, but again, you can do pregame and postgame stuff on TNT and broadcast the games on ESPN. Again, that's just my opinion. I think these games need to be on ESPN, but or at least part of them. If you want to alternate back and forth, cool. But to not have any of these games on ESPN, I think is kind of a ripoff. I mean, obviously you're gonna have the the games up in Canada are all going to be on are on like CBC. A lot of them on on CBC and stuff like that up in Canada. Because I mean, you got the Edmonton Oilers in there. It's going to be very highly watched in Canada for sure. But when it comes to U.S. broadcasting, I think ESPN should be on it. It should be in on this, and that's just me. At the very least, alternating. Whether it's 4 games on TNT, 3 on ESPN, 4 on ESPN, 3 on TNT, whichever. ESPN needs to get in on this though. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. What do you guys think of the schedule? Are you guys fine with it? Or I'm personally fine with it. I have no problem with the way that they've got this set up here. I know some people probably won't like the fact that if it goes to Game 7, it's going all the way until June 20th. Guess what? The NBA, if they go to Game 7, goes all the way to June 22nd. So think about that too. This is nothing. Doing a schedule like this is nothing new. The NBA has been doing it for years. And the NHL just finally is getting in on it. So let me know in the comments. So what you guys think? Do you think ESPN needs to be broadcasting these games, or are you guys fine with TNT? I at least think they should be alternating. I'm not saying all of them have to be on ESPN, but at least go back and forth. At least one game on ESPN, one on TNT, and so on and so forth, or however you do it. So that. Of course, that's just me. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hit that like button, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button too. That would be awesome. It would be greatly appreciated. I would gladly appreciate that. Also, share this video with everyone that you know. Share it with anybody that you don't know. And if you've got people out there who love hockey, who love watching hockey content, and they've never heard of the channel, let them know. Let them know about the channel. Let them know the channel is here. I welcome every hockey fan in the world. I would love to have every hockey fan in the world join me here on at Larry's House of Hockey. And even if you're a new fan to the game, I would love to have you here too. I got no problem going and kind of explaining how the game works. And yeah, so go ahead and do all that. Also also hit that little notification bell. That will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. And yeah, I look forward to this series getting underway. And yeah, this is a rematch I've definitely been looking forward to. I am looking forward to. And yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts though. And let me know what you think about the schedule, the choice of channels, all that. So like, comment, subscribe, share, so I can see you guys back here again. I will see you guys later.